Growing up, I was the oldest of a large family. There were 12 kids total. I knew my parents loved me all along, but I felt that I had to be perfect to gain their affection and their attention. And so that became a huge problem for me throughout life. That's how I got attention. That's how I found my worth, was by doing what I thought I could to be perfect. Later on in life, I developed a habit of going out and partying on the weekends and surrounding myself with people that were not good for me, lying and manipulating, and started drinking and using drugs when I was in high school. I turned down a scholarship to go to college to stay home for a boy and for this lifestyle. It escalated after I stayed home. It got worse. I got a job at a casino and ended up running around with people that just fed this problem that I had, and it turned from a habit to an addiction quickly. By 22, I had 2 kids and I was a single mom. I jumped headfirst into an abusive relationship, and baby number 3 that I thought might fix this abusive relationship, and that wasn't the case. It got worse. My mom taught me about God when I was young. She brought us to church, but I never understood what it was to have a relationship with God. I had no idea how to do that or what that even looked like. When my parents got divorced, I really started to spiral into depression and rebellion, and that fed my addictive behavior when I got a little bit older. So 23, single mom, 3 kids, and then into an abusive relationship. I wound up completely hopeless, completely worthless in my view of myself, having striven for perfection my whole life, falling from not doing anything. I couldn't stand to look in the mirror. I couldn't stand who I had become. I couldn't stand anything about me, and I couldn't see my life being anything but a mess forever. I wanted to die on several occasions. I genuinely had no desire to live anymore. And finally, one day, it manifested itself to trying to commit suicide. I swallowed a bottle of prescription pills and walked outside where my kids were playing in the yard, and the gravity of what I had done really hit me. And I began telling them that I loved them and saying my goodbyes. And something told me to go inside and check that bottle. It had been a misfill. One time in 10 years that I've been taking this prescription, the pharmacist messed it up. And I didn't know then, but I know now that it was God, that He saved my life. And it was shortly after that that I finally came to the end of myself and reached out for help. I told my family, I've got a problem, I need to get some help. My mom had done some research, and she was the one person who was really on to me with my addiction and had been consistently praying for me my whole life. No matter what I did, she prayed. And she suggested Teen Challenge and said, there's some programs where you can go and you can bring your kids. I called several different teen challenges, and with 3 kids, I wasn't able to get in anywhere. The turn of events was they accepted me here with the understanding that it was going to be tough, that I wasn't going to be given any slack, that I was going to be held to the same standard as everyone else, and I didn't care. I knew that this is what I needed. And so I got on a bus and I came 16 hours from home with my 3 kids, and my life has never, ever, ever been the same. I loved it here. As soon as I got here, I loved everything about it. There were people here who welcomed me. There were people here who made me feel like I was okay, and that they could see what I had been through and they could relate to me, and I was going to be okay. I got saved shortly after I got here, and I got a real taste of hope. For the first time in my life, I had real hope. I had no idea what that was until Jesus came on the scene, and I knew there was something worth living for. It was real, and I had peace, and I found contentment. There was no more striving to be something that I wasn't supposed to be. I got filled with the Holy Ghost, and that gave me all the extra power and emphasis to complete this program with 3 kids and to do what God called me to do. My kids, my boys, they're a little bit older. They got saved while I was in the program at a church thing that we had going on, and that was really amazing to get to pray with them and lead them to the Lord. My kids love God. They love Him, and they see Him all over in their lives, and they're content, and they're healthy, and they're happy, and I have an appreciation and a love for them now that I would have never had without God. I thought I was a good mom before, and now I know that that was not the case whatsoever, but with God's help, He's taught me how to be a mom. He's taught me how important discipline is for my kids. He's taught me how to be consistent. He's taught me that any little compromise in my life is dangerous, not only for me, but for all the people around me, including my children. And He's given me the power and the ability to continue on in that, not living in compromise, living in victory every single day. I get to do that now. And now I work here, and it's the best thing I could have ever imagined. Before, I would have never thought that working in the ministry was for me. You know, I was a mess. Who would want me? But now I know that God wanted me all along, and this is what He had planned for me. I'm home here, and this is where I intend to stay as long as He'll keep me here. I'm really blessed to get to speak into the lives of the ladies who are in the same place I was not too long ago every day, and to get to help them learn the things that God's taught me since I've come here, you know, as far as being a Christian, being a mom, all of it. There's so much. It's the best life I could ever imagine.